where we actually reading the giver today. We're on lesson 10. You should have already completed your do now. While I check the attendance, your camera should be on and you are visible. You're going to open your nearby lessons. You're going to open the following items: the giver, the split page notes, and your reading log. And most importantly, be prepared to participate. Our agenda for today is our do now and attendance. We're going to review our previous learning, agenda, objectives, and standards, review chapter 12, and have a cold call. Read aloud chapter 12 excerpt, not the chapter, just the excerpt that I have in. Check for understanding when a waterfall. Check for understanding during your nearby lesson. Have a whole class discussion to make sure you guys understand what's actually happening in the book. And then your exit ticket will be your split page notes while you complete a P paragraph as well. So what is lesson 10 about? Lesson 10 is about analyze the setting of Jonas' perception of his community. Perception meaning how does Jonas feel about his community? How does Jonas view his community? Quintana, how do you think Jonas view his community? Is he happy about his community? Is he sad about his community? Happy. Is he proud? Happy, okay. Well, when we get to it, we'll see if you're right when we get there. We've already read and discussed chapter 11 of the giver, and we continue to analyze Jonas' character. Who are some of the main characters in the story? Michaela. Jonas, who else? His sister, who else?
His mom.
His mom, who else?
A child.
What's the child name? Lily. Oh, okay, Curtis, Lily. Good job, y'all. Today we're going to read and discuss an excerpt of chapter 12. Analyze the setting and values of Jonas' community. We're going to continue to analyze how Jonas' perception of his community changes as a result of his experience with the giver. Let's go back. In chapter 11, Jonas received what kind of assignment? Jonas received what kind of assignment? The receiver of what? The receiver of memory, right? So before they had a receiver of memory, but she failed, right? And they wind up getting rid of her. So do you think Jonas won't fail at it? Do you think he's ready to take on this assignment at the age of 12?
No.
No. Okay, we'll find out. We're going to ask our split page notes, and we're going to continue to use that to write our P paragraph. You have on your desk your reading log, your novel, The Giver, and your split page notes numbers, chapters 9 through 12. Let's answer our independent reading for chapter 12. What did you find interesting from the text? What did you find interesting from chapter 12, Britt? What was the most interesting thing that caught your eye? Terrence, what's the most interesting thing that caught your eyes in chapter 12? At the end he saw a rainbow. So at that time, being the receiver of memory, he gained what? He was able to see what? Color. He was able to see color while everybody else saw what?
Black and white.
Black and white. Good. What questions do you still have about the giver? I know I still have a question. The question I have, I wonder how the community is going to receive him as being the receiver of memory. Are they going to accept him as that, by doing that assignment? So what are some of the questions you still may have? Shania, you have a question? Why did Jonas have to follow rules? That's a good one. Hopefully we're going to read and get to that. Follow along as I read an excerpt from chapter 12 of The Giver. And before I read the excerpt, let's go over the questions so we know what we're looking for when we read it, okay? What does relinquish mean? What does the giver mean when he says we gain control of many things, but we had to let go of others? So now I read the questions. So now we know what we're looking for, right? Right, Jamie? So follow along as I read the excerpt. Jonas wasn't interested. Just then, in wisdom, it was the colors that fascinated him. Why can't everyone see them? Why did colors disappear? The giver shrugged. Our people made that choice. The choice to go to sameness. Before my time, before the previous time, back and back and back. We relinquish color when we relinquish sunshine. and did away with differences. He thought for a moment we gained control of many things, but we had to let go of others. What does relinquish mean in this passage, Danny?
To like stop doing something.
To stop doing something. What is to do away with it, right? Look at your keyword. Did away with differences, right? So getting rid of, right? What does the giver mean when he says we gained control over many things, but we had to let go others? Me personally, I think they're talking about the old receiver, because guess what? They gained Jonas as a receiver of memory, but they had to let go who? The other one, right? Because she failed. Consider all that we have read thus far. What has the community sacrificed for sameness and why? And I want you to cite your textual evidence. That's what you're going to write your P paragraph about. But before we go into the P paragraph, because that's going to be your exit ticket, what do differences have to do with instability? And you're going to cite your evidence and or personal experience. Your P paragraph is going to be on both of those. But let's look at our split page notes. For chapters 9 through 12. And these notes, we answer these notes and these questions are going to help you complete your P paragraph and answer the two questions that we just read. So number 1 says, summarize the key idea from Jonas' rules. Given what you know about the community, why are these rules surprising? So this question is asking more than one question. It's asking you to summarize. It's asking you to summarize the key idea from Jonas' rules. What is the key idea from Jonas' rules? How can we summarize Jonas' rules? Because remember, everyone else had their set of rules. They had folders full of rules, stacks of paper. But Jonas only had one sheet of paper in his folder. So how can we summarize the key ideas from Jonas' rules? Look at your paper. What you put? For number 1. Michaela?
The ideas about Jonas's rules is that he has very less of them, and he's able to do the things that he wasn't normally able to do.
Right, he has less rules and he was able to do things that he couldn't do before. Is he happy about that? So do you think Jonas had to follow his rules and everybody else's rules? Just his rules. So they kind of excused him from the community rules, right? So you're going to write Jonas was excused from his community rules and those who don't have this, you should be writing. Given what we know about the community, why are these rules surprising? Why is Jonas' rule surprising? Right now. It represented everything in go against. There was one rule that he really did not like. What rule was that? What's it? Lying. And why he didn't like it? Right, but he wasn't raised that way, right? It goes against everything he believes in. So let's restate the question. Given what we know about the community, I hope I don't hit y'all. These rules are surprising because they go against everything that Jonas believes in. Alright, so I did number 1. I want you to take your time and I want you to do number 2 on your own. Get started.